go on those auditions and you don't get those callbacks. How do you take it?
Yeah. Initially, I took it hard because you judge your self-worth by it. Like, oh, I guess I'm just not good enough. You know, in the beginning, you really start to, at least for me, I would put myself down. Like, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? And as time went on, I've rejected over and over and over because that's really
I mean, for guys, I believe with makeup, it's like maybe a powdering or something like that. But usually, for women, you guys have to kind of go through the whole palette, you know, to kind of see if this works, if that works.
The whole palette.
You know, if it works.
Wait. Let's go. Right back. That brings me up to my second headshot. I had too much makeup.
Okay.
I was looking like I was about to work the corner. I was but when I saw the picture, I'm like, why didn't nobody tell me?
Yeah.
Way, but if you're under someone's comments like she's trash, that's trash.
Right.
I'm like, damn. But you know what? That's good. I mean, negative talk, like when it's like that, I just take it as this. You still boosting up the algorithm. So put all you want. That's okay. That's not really critiquing me if you're just saying that's trash.
Yeah.
What up? I'm youngblaze. I'm a rapper, producer, and director, photographer, just all the way around creator. So what about you? You an actor, filmmaker, musician, someone who's creating or part of something amazing? Well, come meet people like you, where we take Chicago, Hollywood, and we meet up in the middle, and we get successful. So if somebody tell you switched up, acting different, acting brand new, nah. Just tell them I'm just acting Chicallywood.
What up, people? It's your boy, youngblaze. You know what it is. This is Acting Chicallywood. And with that being said, I'm sitting here with...
Chantelly Johnson.
Yes, who are you?
Who am I? Ooh, I gotta think.
I know, it's a lot.
I know, it's a lot. Chantelly Johnson, Telly B, that's me. I am an actress. I am a writer. I am a mixed fit instructor.
Yeah.
And I'm an artist.
Yeah.
I'm a Latina. I'm a strong Latina too. Don't forget.
The background is amazing. So like I asked everybody, what made you get into this? What made you first of all get into when did you realize you was just like, yo, I'm dope, I'm talented?
So it was my birthday, 11/26/1985, right? I woke up, I was like, I'm dope. I came out the womb like, I'm dope. No, but really acting is like a whole nother story. But that started in 2018, kind of just...
Not too far.
Not too far away, but only, so what is it, 7 years of acting.
Okay.
I'm a registered nurse as well. I forgot to put that in my what about me? I'm a registered nurse.
Nice.
But I've been a nurse for 15 years. I've always wanted to act. I did some acting in theater back in high school.
Nice.
But, I grew up poor. And I was the oldest of 4 girls. We lived in a basement apartment. We didn't have money. And so it was like pushed on me, like, you got to be a doctor.
Oh.
You got to be a nurse. You got to be the first one to graduate college.
Okay.
So I was the first one to graduate college. But it was so embedded in my mind that I couldn't do something that didn't make you money.
Right.
I had to go. I went into nursing.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt it was like secure. It was something that I could do no matter where I was in the world, what age I was. Nursing would be a good fit. But deep back in my mind, I'm like, dang, I wish I would have went into acting, entertainment, the arts. So in college, I never did that.
Yeah.
Got older, got the house, got the kid. I'm working full time. I'm watching movies, and I'm like, that should be me. I should be on that screen. And really, it comes down to one specific moment, and I talk about this moment all the time. I was watching the movie Uncle Drew. You remember Uncle Drew?
Don't. Put me on.
I don't either. That's how crazy. That's how crazy the story is. So the movie's Uncle Drew. I'm in the theater watching. It's about basketball. It's about inspiration. And I'm sitting there, really, I think it was like a Sunday matinee. I'm eating my popcorn like, it's a day off. And they said this one quote in the movie that kind of just like stung. Like all the bells and whistles were going off.
Yeah.
And the quote was, and I'm sure you probably heard it, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah.
Everybody's heard it. Everyone said it. But in that moment, in 2018, I'm sitting there and I hear it. And I said, if I don't try it, I'm never going to achieve it.
Yeah.
If I don't try the shot, I'm going to miss it. So I might as well try the shot. I went home. The movie's playing. I was like this. How do I become an actress? What do I do? Went home, opened up my laptop. How do you become an actress in Chicago? Like literally it went right from that moment.
Yeah.
And from that moment, I became an extra working with 4-Star, which if you're from Chicago, you know 4-Star. Okay. They help you with background work. I hit up my friend who was a photographer. I'm like, I need something called a headshot. He's like, I got you. Got some headshots done. Downloaded this app called Backstage, which kind of helps with like indie films, student films.
Yeah.
And I started working my way up that way. It was like a domino effect. And it was just like that one quote. I'm telling you, that quote like prompted it. It was like the gasoline to the fire.
Wow. So it's almost like, so you're kind of like, you have the guideline for somebody that's like, you know what? I can still get this. I can still do this.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have for somebody that's just like, hey, you know what? I got too much going on. I don't know if I could do this. Like, how did you focus in and say, no, I got to do this? Like, because, it's a lot of people that like the idea of being an actor, actress, and everything like that, but they don't like the idea of going through the motions to do it. Yeah. So how did you actually push yourself to say, no, I got to get out here?
Well, I look at it like this. You're always going to find time to do the things you want to do. Hey. You're always going to find that time. Right. If you want to do it, you'll find the time. And I was working full time. Mom to a toddler, and I was still trying to figure out, how do I look for classes? How do I book independent work? Yeah. You find the time for it. It's 2 a.m. and I'm reading a book about, the book is called Acting for Dummies. I was reading this book.
I remember those books.
Yes, but that book was like a little workbook. It showed me like how to start, where to go, what to do, what is blocking, what is, on your ones. Like I learned all that stuff from this book, and I learned like where to start as far as looking for training. Yeah. So, you will find the time to do it if you really want to do it.
Yeah. And that's cool because, like, it's funny, like you say, you looked it up and looked at everything that you needed to do. So that's why I'm creating this platform, Acting Chicallywood. So,
and thank you for that. Yeah. This is really dope. Yeah. There's not a lot of platforms like this geared specifically to
And the thing
Chicago
about it, this is pretty much like, for people who are creative, because I want to make sure that you understand, like, because I wish I had the knowledge expedited to me, because I had to piece it together and say, hey, man, it's over here, and then,
Same.
But sometimes you do need that. Sometimes you need to be in a situation where you actually physically have to, like, know exactly what you're getting yourself into. So let me ask you this. So what are some things that you've like, man, I did not expect this, even though I did all my research, because it's only so much research you could do until you actually have to say, no, this is okay. So what is something that you experienced, like, okay, that I didn't know that part about the business?
I honestly, and this is me coming in like not knowing anything, that it can take years to book that role, for me at least. And it's different for everyone, and everyone's journey is different. Yeah. In this entertainment business and acting specifically, from what I'm learning, again, this is just my own opinion and what I've learned, it's not linear. And in my mind, it's like you book this role and then you advance and you get this and you do this. Yeah. And it's not like that at all. It is a complete backwards, upside down roller coaster. Yeah. And that's normal and that's okay. Like those are the ebbs and flows of the entertainment business. Yeah. I came in thinking like, as soon as I book that role, I'm gonna book the next one, Hollywood. Like, and I wasn't doing this to be famous. I was doing this because I wanted to like bring art to, bring it to life. But I just thought I would have more opportunities and bigger opportunities sooner than I did. Right. So that was more of like no, you need to train and you need to network, which is so important. You need to like get yourself out there. You need to just build yourself, and things come when they're supposed to come. Yeah. So.
And plus, it's I don't know if you're like a video game person, but it sounds like an RPG. Like meaning you got to go on these quests, and then once you get
quests,
then you can go get your inventory up, and you can start adding little items and potions to your quest.
I was about to say, like, I need cool skins for my Fortnite. I need cool skins, y'all. I need a new everything before I do the battle royale.
Yeah, man. And it's that's cool, man. So what was your first role?
Okay, so one of my first roles was actually with Dwayne Austin Jr.
Shout out to Dwayne Austin Jr. That's that dude right there. Okay.
And it was, he had made a posting on Backstage. Yeah. Again, I'm super new. I think I was enrolled in Second City at the time for improv. I'm still trying to build myself and learn. And I had seen a posting for something called Delivery Traffic. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. I was playing a boss. And I auditioned. It was one of my first auditions, and it was with him. And he was like, I think you're really good. You have a good natural, innate ability. He's like, keep doing your training. He's like, but I want you for this film. And that was one of the first films I had done. It was called Delivery Traffic. And I'm just so proud that he gave me one of my first roles, really with like a blank resume. Wow. And a halfway decent headshot. But then after that, he hooked me up with someone to help me out with that too. So shout out to Dwayne.
How was that process as far as like now you're pretty much on set and you're firsthand seeing it? How did it differ from in your mind to here you are like, wow, this is, I'm seeing a little bit of things that are a little different, or was it like, okay, this is exactly what I expected?
I had an idea, but because I had done some background work as well before working with Dwayne. So I was on the background of Empire and a show called Redline. So I was there to observe. Yeah. Background work was not me making money or anything. I was there to simply observe how a set was working. Yeah. So I was watching how are background workers working, how are like the main cast, PAs, like what's happening here. Yeah. When they would shout out things like everyone to the ones, I'm like, what's up ones? Like I was learning, I'm writing it down right to the ones. And so I was really gathering information before I really stepped on Dwayne's set. So I had an idea, but he was also educational about it because he also knew I was very green. So he'd be like, okay, we're going to do this.
Gotcha.
Do you know what that means? All right, what we're going to do is we're going to do this, and this. You got it? Let's do it real quick for me. That's how he was. So I felt very like I had a safety net. And he was there with me to say, you're going to be fine. We got this. I'm with you. And I could tell he knew what he was doing. I didn't know much about him. I just auditioned for this film, but I knew that he knew what he was doing because I felt comfortable, and he made me feel comfortable.
Nice.
In what I was doing, and also receptive to something new. And so I grew from that. So being on the set, I kind of had an idea what was going to happen, but I also was really surprised and grateful of his attitude towards me.
Yeah.
So, which is,
man, that's
you never know how
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So with every positive, sometimes there could be a negative, and a lot of people don't like to talk about this. But either way, let me ask you this: how do you deal with the rejection? Because sometimes you go on those auditions and you don't get those callbacks. How do you take it?
Yeah. Initially, I took it hard because you judge your self-worth by it. Like, I guess I'm just not good enough. In the beginning, you really start to, at least for me, I would put myself down. Like, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? And as time went on, I've rejected over and over and over, because that's really the part of this job is getting that thick skin, right? And so knowing that like rejection is not personal. Most of the time, it's not personal. Most of the time, it's because you were too tall. You were too short. They were looking for a man for this role, even though they said all genders. They really actually were looking for a man. And so I had to really realize that there are so many factors that go into someone choosing a role. I would give myself those 5-10 minutes to really be like, dang, and just really think about it and just sulk in it, and then that's it. It's done. That's the past. Let's watch it when it comes out. See what they chose. Why did they choose it? And then learn from it and go on to the next thing.
Right.
So that's really all that I can do and that I could do. But it just took me time to realize sometimes rejection is protection, right? Sometimes being rejected for a role is protecting you. And I've seen some roles where I was like, well, thank God I didn't get that.
Right.
But it's just part of the job. You do the job. Take your deep breath, exhale, it's done, on to the next.
So basically, when it's all said and done, keep a good attitude, a positive attitude, and a positive outlook.
Yeah.
I mean...
it's hard, though.
Yeah, I can imagine. But see, here at Chicallywood, the thing I'm trying to instill in people is that
Chicallywood,
if you cannot get the role, or you looking at it from a perspective of like, man, what is happening? Then that means you just got to kind of create that for yourself. Because you have the tools, the resources. We have that here. Now I'm just shining a light on the people that can possibly help with that or expedite the process. So one thing you mentioned, I thought was pretty interesting. You said you got your headshot. You upgraded your headshot game
many times.
So how does that differ? Like, well, is it harder for women, like when it comes down to getting headshots? Because I know some guys, they just, for guys, like, put on this little, tank top, whatever.
Little leather coat and do the
me
mug.
Yeah, how different from what you've seen for women when it comes to headshots?
That's interesting you say that. I think it's harder for women because
Really?
Women can rock different styles.
Yeah.
My very first headshot was platinum blonde. I don't know if you remember me back then, but I was super blonde.
Okay.
Super blonde. And the headshot was like in front of like these blinds, and the light was coming in kind of weird. And when I look at it now, I was so washed out. Like it was like a shirt. It was a headshot of a shirt. But I had a headshot, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's harder for women because I think for both, you have to really know color theory. There's a thing about color, which I just learned from Nancy Vela. She's amazing headshot
that's another name that's been popping up on this. Okay.
Nancy is amazing, but she helped me with color theory and how certain colors you think look good on you till that light captures you and you're like, ooh, I really thought yellow looked good on me. So I saw it in the picture and I was like, I look completely washed out.
Okay.
So really learning color theory, learn what looks good with your skin tone, with your eye color.
Yeah.
But women, I think, long hair, short hair, different colors, how you want to rock your style, like it can be it's harder than for a man who's like facial hair or no facial hair. And those are like the two options, right? Mostly men, it's like, are you willing to shave or not? So they usually have like those two styles. I think for women, it's a little harder.
I can imagine.
I think so.
I can imagine because, you guys are pretty much, when it comes down to doing certain roles, you got makeup. I mean, for guys, I believe with makeup, it's like maybe a powdering or something like that. But usually, for women, you guys have to kind of go through the whole palette, to kind of see if this works, if that works. The whole
palette.
If it works,
Wait. Let's go right back.
Well, not the whole palette, but like, I've seen certain sets where it was like they had a woman there and she had her whole kit, and they was like,
no, you're right.
We got to make sure that okay, now we got to test her with this lighting.
You're absolutely right.
I was like, wow, this is taking a long time.
Yeah, well, that brings me up to my second headshot. I had too much makeup.
Okay,
I was looking like I was about to work the corner. I was like,
wow.
but when I saw the picture, I'm like, why didn't nobody tell me?
Yeah.
Third round, I'm like, okay, pull back on the makeup. Let's pull back on the hair color. So it's just the evolve, like the way my headshots evolved.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, the whole makeup thing. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Do you want to be perceived as the mom? So pull back on the makeup, maybe look more natural. T-shirt, tank, everybody does that plaid shirt look.
Yeah.
You want to look tough? What is a tough look? Everybody does the leather and the thing. It's
Right.
So the style is a part of it, but it's really what you're saying with your eyes, how you're feeling in your heart and your mind. That's what's going to come through on the camera.
I mean, it's kind of like, dress up, when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So how do you deal with people critiquing your work? How do you deal with the criticism? How do you say, just how do you do that?
I accept it with open arms.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I love criticism. I want to know what you thought genuinely. Like, how did you perceive my role, my work on that screen, on that audition? Not everybody gives critique during auditions, which is fine, which is how, the world works, how this business works. But if I have a friend who sees my work, sees an independent film I'm in, sees something on the big screen, please tell me what you really thought of what I did. Yeah. How did I do? Because that's the only way you're going to grow. Yeah. It's the only way you're going to learn from what you've done in a previous film. And my goal is to do better the next time around. I am my only competition. Yeah. Chantelly today, I'm competition with her for tomorrow. That's it. Nice. So I would love criticism. I need it. I thrive on it because I grow on it. Yeah. So I accept it.
It's funny because I don't know if you follow this whole Drake and Kendrick situation.
I've heard a little bit.
Drake is pretty much suing Kendrick because he's suing the label because he felt that some work got put out that is putting his character on blast. I guess and then he got to basically suing some of the people that was critiquing the whole situation, or they were talking about the song. So he was suing some YouTubers and stuff like that.
Wait, suing YouTubers for critiquing work that was put out.
Right, they'll take Kendrick's song and basically listen to it and say, oh yeah, he cooked him. He cooked Drake. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
I learned that word from my daughter.
Yeah.
He was cooked.
So he felt like, because you guys are basically helping instigate this, I'm going to sue. So can you imagine a time and place where an actor might basically, a trailer comes out, a movie comes out, and then somebody in the comments is like, oh, that person was terrible. Can you imagine an actor suing somebody because they got like their feelings was hurt? Because I know this is a very sensitive business because your art is very unique and special.
It is.
So like, I guess my question is, how would you give advice to somebody that's like they're too serious to the point where it's like you can't give them any critique?
I think if someone's asking for critique and asking for that information, then it should honestly be given. Social media critique, I skip, I slide right through and scroll because I wasn't asking for it at that moment.
That's a whole nother critique right
social
there.
Media critique is like, ooh.
and I guess that's what I was getting at. Like, how do you deal with the social media critique? Because you got constructive criticism, and then I mean, even in my career, I will make a song and people are like, it's all right, it's cool. Yeah. I don't really rock with it, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay, cool.
You're like, I put my heart and soul in that one.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But I get it. I ain't gonna touch everybody's life, but I get it. But at the end of the day, like you said, you're not looking for it. So basically you're saying when it comes to that social media critique, hey, you got to kind of have blinders on, block that.
Yeah. And social media critique can come differently. I've had friends that or people I didn't really know, hit my DM and say, hey, I saw you on this thing. You want to, I had some things that I want to talk about. Like, I really liked it, what you did, I really liked how you did this, what you did with this. Yeah. And then if I'm like, cool, what else did you think? Like, I'm opening up that door of conversation. That's one way. And you go about it that way. But if you're under someone's comments like, she's trash, that's trash.
Right.
I'm like, damn. But you know what? That's good. I mean, negative talk, like when it's like that, I just take it as this, you still boosting up the algorithm. So put all you want. That's okay. That's not really critiquing me if you're just saying that's trash. You're not giving me anything to work with.
Right.
One thing that I hear all the time, and I still hear it today, and it's something that I've been working on, is talk slower. Yeah. Speak slower. And I'm like, I've been talking fast all my life because I've always felt rushed to say what I need to say. Do what you need to do fast.
Right,
all my life. So that's my biggest critique I've gotten, and I accept it, and I'm learning from it right now. Do you see how I'm learning from it?
There we go. Yeah. I mean, and coming from somebody that raps really, really fast.
Yeah. You think I could be like Twista?
Maybe.
Oh.
Or Tag 9? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. There you go.
Telly Twista in the
Ooh,
house.
I like that.
Okay, open up the studio.
That's how we do it. Album coming soon.
Yep.
So let me ask you this, man. So you touched on it earlier. What is your ethnicity?
I am Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Half Puerto Rican, and my mom, she's white, so she's a little mutt, but she grew up in Arkansas, so she has some Irish and some German in her, but Arkansas, Alabama, and then she moved to Chicago.
Yeah.
That's where she met my dad.
Okay.
So I know I'm pretty light skinned. My skin color is my mom. My eye color is my dad.
Yeah.
But culturally, I've been around my abuela and abuelo mostly. They lived above us. They were around us all the time. So yeah, it was always like my secret identity because people never really initially knew until they either heard me speak, till they saw me dance, or till they tasted my cooking. Then they're like, "Where are you from?"
Yeah,
I'm like, well.
Because that leads into my next question as far as roles that you go for.
Yeah.
Is it certain roles that it seems like, for example, because you speak Spanish?
A little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
If I have a script in Spanish, I can run that. But if someone's like, I need you to improv Spanish, I'm like,
Okay.
It's a little harder for me. But if I had a script that was in Spanish, I got you.
So have you done roles that are basically predominantly like a Puerto Rican woman? Or
No.
Is it, like, so how have you been coming across certain roles?
Yeah, I'm usually I get the Caucasian woman.
The Caucasian
25
woman.
to 40, 45. That's like the age range I seem to get. Caucasian woman, and I get mom a lot.
Yeah.
I've gotten like Italian mobster wife a lot too.
I can kind of see that.
You kind of see it. Why can you tell me why you can see that?
Because you kind of
Tell
have
me why
this.
you can see that.
You
Young
have this
Blaze.
very bold, like, so who was it? Where is he? Let's go get him. Okay.
Okay, that's Sagittarius in me. It comes out in my roles. I be a little feisty.
Shout out to Sagittarius.
Sagittarius, I love.
There we go.
But yeah, I've got an Italian woman a lot, but that's about it. I'm a little like a lot of the moms, wives, and like detective.
Yeah.
I'm also a nurse, so I've naturally been, granted nurse roles.
Okay.
Like, hey, you're a nurse.
Yeah.
Come do this.
Is it interesting if you see a role that's for a nurse and it's wrote in a way where you're like, well, wait a minute, no, that's not how that would go. No, that's not the type of needles
like,
that you would
that
use.
is violating HIPAA. Like, what's happening here?
So now that leads and segues into this next question. Do sometimes when you get a role, you might be like, can I talk to the director or the writer and say, hey, can I give a little insight? Because this is not accurate. Or you just say, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me trust your vision is what it is. How do you do it?
Well, if it comes if we're talking about nursing stuff in general, so far everything I've received as far as nursing has been very general.
Okay.
And that's made sense. So I haven't really like, hey, can I give some nursing tips? But if it comes to other roles, I usually don't.
Okay.
Unless I feel like there's an open door then they're asking me like, what do you think? What would you like to change? What is your input? And then I think this.
Okay.
So unless I'm being asked that question, I usually don't approach them with that. Yeah.
So you trust the process.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done.
Yeah.
And speaking of trusting the process, so what type of roles ideally would you love to have?
Yeah.
Because I can get a gauge because you kind of have I can see you doing a lot of funny skits.
I do funny skits.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a couple skits with Boom Too Funny back in the day.
Okay.
Done some skits with Felice Tamar J. So we're working on that. Jay Davis,
Shout out
his
to Jay Davis on
Creative
here.
Hustle, all those skits, the crazy skit, man.
Yeah.
And I get some hate on some of those skits.
Really?
Yes, some of them on TikTok because people think it's real. People genuinely think these like funny skits are real. I'm like,
what do you mean? Like what? It's like maybe like the subject matter of the skits?
The subject matter, but like the moment, like they really think the stuff is real.
Oh, wow.
I was getting dogged out for a couple things where it was the work husband meets the real husband.
Yeah.
And so I'm all lovey-dovey and on top of my work husband, and it's like a Christmas party.
Gotcha.
And so my husband's there and I'm with my work husband like, oh, Donnie. I'm all over and the work husband's like, what is happening? But people were like, oh, you need to get rid of her. I'm like, this, but it's fake.
So that leads into, so how does your family help you with your career? Like how does that balance work?
Support.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah,
important.
whether you have it in family or if you create your own family, friends, you need support. And that's with anything, anything in our life. We need someone to know we can fall back on, we can talk with, we can speak with, we can ask for advice.
Yeah.
And it comes to like daily life, like, hey, I need someone to help me. I'm not going to make it on time to pick up my daughter from school. I'm on set. Can you help me? Making sure you have a plan B, plan C, and plan D is important. And knowing that you have that security and that support from your friends and family is really what you can fall back on.
That's dope. Because it's really important to be in this business to have a support system because it gets hard. It gets really hard, as you know. So segueing into the next question, how do you deal with the slow times? How do you deal with the times where it's like, man, it's like I've been doing, because I'm an advocate for like always creating your own, but sometimes some people just don't have that in them, and I get it. But like, how would you help somebody or give advice to somebody who's like, yo, I'm not getting nothing?
Sometimes you just can't wait. You can't wait for the roles to come to you. You got to create the roles. Yeah. So like, I mentioned, I've written a few scripts in my downtime when things are pretty slow. I'm like, I'm going to create a character that I want to play. I'm going to create a scene that I would love to play in. I'm going to write this out and see what happens. Yeah. It has not come to the film yet. It's still on paper, it's still at home, but it will. That is my goal, to get that out into the world. So downtime is writing. Downtime is attending more workshops or training. Just like as a nurse, I still have to do things called in-service. Okay. So once a year, I still have to make sure I know still how to put in a Foley catheter. Do I know how to draw blood? Do I know how to put in an IV? You have to make sure your skills are sharpened. Same thing with acting. I know some people are with training and some people are not. I think it's important. I think it's important for me specifically because I'm coming from just 7 years of this, coming from zero to where I'm at now. Yeah. So training for me is important. It keeps me sharp. It keeps me on my toes, and it keeps me networking as well. Because your classmates could be the next Steven Spielberg. Your classmate could be the next. You never know. But it keeps you networking. It keeps you involved. And that's what I do in my downtime. And I'm mixed fit. I don't know if I told you I'm mixed fit.
No, I didn't know that. Okay.
Mixed fit's a dance fitness program. So that's something I'm newly doing as well. Yeah. I just started that 6 months ago. I became an instructor.
Oh, so you
gonna come to class? You gonna do dance fitness with me, youngblaze?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Actually, we do have a class tomorrow.
Well, not tomorrow.
I'm gonna sign you the other tomorrow.
The other tomorrow.
Got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, it's all about keeping your skill set sharp. So even when things are not working out or things are not going your way, still work on something to be, because you never know when you need to use it. Be prepared for it.
Never know.
Man.
What does it say? You gotta stay ready. Don't gotta get ready.
Hey.
That's it.
That's what's up, man.
You gotta stay ready.
So then my next question, and you mentioned a little bit, you got some theater in your background, right?
I do.
So the one thing that has been so consistent across the board with almost everybody that I've interviewed, theater is so important.
Yeah.
So why is it important to you?
It's important to me because I think it's acting in its rawest form.
It's super raw.
It's super raw. That's like an album cover name, right? I got you. I'm out here.
Yeah.
Commission. Don't forgive me when you make that album.
Let's do it.
But it is acting in its rawest, truest form, and there are no do-overs. No one's gonna yell cut, do it again. You are up there really doing it, and I love that adrenaline rush. Yeah. I really love the adrenaline rush.
It's addicting.
Oh. It's so good.
Nice.
But it's one of those things where the team all comes together to do this one, usually, at least the ones I've been in have been one night production. And everyone's coming together, crew, cast, the set designer, everyone is working together, long hours to get this production up and running and as best as it can be. And it's just, I don't know, it's just so fulfilling to see everyone pulling together to make this one movement of art happen and uniformly, even when things go up and down. Making sure we rolling with the punches,
because it's all teamwork when it's all said and done.
All teamwork. And it's teamwork in film too. The thing is, you have do-overs. You have times you can cut. You can redo again. You can do a makeup touch-up. She's sweating over there. You on stage, you sweating. That's okay. It's coming down. No one's going to stop and come over there and pat you dry. If you were in the middle of that monologue and you feel that sweat, it's there.
You got to fight through it.
You just got to fight through it. Anyway, it adds to the character most of the time because, like I say, half the time I'm crying and screaming and having some sweat just adds to my character.
So this is another question. So are you one of the actresses that can cry on cue, or you have to build up to it? What goes into the mental mindset to be able to do that? I know you got to pull from me the emotional things, but you know, is because I remember I was working with somebody one time where I had to have them cry. Mm-hmm. They were able to do it, and I had to do multiple takes. Yeah. But what was starting to happen is they were starting to get like a headache, you know. So
that happens for sure.
Yeah, so
if I know I'm coming to set and it's the part where I have to cry, I make sure this is the nurse in me. I'm super hydrated. So before I head to set, I'm chugging water. I'm drinking water because you can't produce tears unless you're hydrated, right?
There we go.
So make sure you're hydrated for real. Like that's like the biggest thing because it's hard to, especially when you do it 2, 3, 4 times over and over. You're gonna get to a point where you're crying. You could feel the emotion. You could feel the pressure in your head, but ain't nothing coming out anymore. You dry. So hydrating. But another thing is music. Music.
Oh, that's good.
I bring music to set. I bring something that I can listen to with my own headphones to really put me in a state. I try not to put my mind in a state of like pain or hurt that I've been in the past, just because I don't think it's healthy to kind of relive events like that.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I listen to music that elicits, that certain emotions will come from.
Like Adele or something. Adele, Hello. That was a sad song.
No.
That was a pretty interesting song.
Well, I won't cry to that one.
Okay.
No, but it's funny we're talking about this because I actually did a posting today about this very subject.
Really? Oh,
and
wow.
the song, which is so crazy, the song is Dionne Warwick, That's What Friends Are For.
Okay.
And I know that sounds crazy, but it's classic. But whenever those horns start, that start, boy, it starts coming down. Yeah. And I was like, you just have to know, like when I have a character that I'm playing that's like a badass, I have like this rock and roll, like this is the role, this is the music. And I associate music with who my character is. What would this character listen to? And I think that's
nice. I like that. I like that.
And this one time I had to play like this woman back in the 80s, and I was the movie was set in the 80s, and she was being abused and things like that. And I was like, I need those 80s ballads to put me in this mood. I would listen to 80s ballads on the way to set. I'm listening to it. It's playing in the background while I'm reading the script. I just get my character in that zone. So when it comes to crying on set, I'm hydrated. I ask, give me a minute. Let me get myself into that moment. And I listen to a song or two to really just get those emotions going. Yeah. And I take off the headphones. All right, I'm ready. Let's go. Hurry, let's go. It's happening and it's already coming down. I'm like, hurry, let's go.
Yeah. Can you cheat it a little bit? Because I've seen people take like it's some type of peppermint type of thing, and then,
You can. I haven't used that specifically. I've tried eye drops a couple times just because there was just so much going on.
Yeah.
But I think that it was more dry. I think that did worse.
I would imagine because it's so.
It was drying it up at a certain point, and I was like, I probably shouldn't be using Visine. It probably should have been the lubricant. But yeah, that's something that I've seen people do.
Yeah.
But for me, again, I can do it pretty easily, but music just pushes me forward a little more.
Yeah. What has helped your brand? Would you say social media has really helped? Because I've seen you do a lot of skits, things like that. So how would you advocate for actors to start really getting on their social media game to really this time?
Yeah, it's hard. Social media is such a fine line, but I have to look at it as free marketing. People pay. People used to pay back in the day to market themselves.
Yeah.
They didn't have social media was not a thing. And so when I look at it now, I have to look at it as this is marketing and it's free. I'm not paying anyone to post for myself. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful when a friend or somebody shares it. Cool. You just get help. But you are your own business. Mm-hmm. And social media, you have to look at it as advertisement. I'm advertising, here's a headshot. This is something I have coming up. Come and check it out. Here's some BTS of me that I'm allowed to post up. Check it out. That's what you have to use it for, and for positive networking as well. There's gonna be some crazy networking out there, but positive networking too. I've met a lot of independent filmmakers here in Chicago, mostly from being on social media. And that's really what helped propel me from being at ground zero to where I'm at now. And it was a lot of social media networking.
Nice.
We
have this stigma where we feel like, I don't want to work a job, because I have this, I'm out here getting it. I'm an actor.
Yeah.
But for you, you're like, man, look, I got to get it, man. I still exist in the real world, The goal is to get to, what the Denzel aspect of salaries and things of that nature. So would you tell somebody look, man, until it takes off, work that 9 to 5.
Yeah. Everyone's going to have a different goal, and everyone's starting from somewhere different. Some people may have been starting with family or friends who know what to do, who've been in the business, and they might have a little leg up. I knew 0 people. And so for me, I looked at it as I want to do this to fulfill that void that I feel, that I needed that outlet, that artistic outlet. And so I went to school, I earned my degree, I'm a nurse, yes. And I do it to pay the bills, but being on set, learning a script is what fulfills me. And so there has to be a balance with that.
Yeah.
I may not ever make it to the Denzel. You know, that would be that would be so cool to do that.
Oh,
but my goal,
my
goal is, I would love, if someone to say what's your my goal would be I would love to be a working actor consistently, like as a series regular, where I can thrive and live off that paycheck. That would be a wonderful goal for me. For some people, like just working background really is their goal. There's some people who love working background.
Yeah.
Like that's their thing. And they do that all day, full time. They love it. They don't want to advance from that. They enjoy that.
You know, it's a movie about that. It's called, I think the name of the movie is called, Hey, Are You in That One Thing I Saw You In?
Really?
Yeah, it's like a documentary, but it's about all the people that you've seen in background work.
Yeah?
A perfect example. So it's the one guy, you've seen him in so many.
I probably have.
It's the Hispanic guy. I think his name is Hector.
I think I know who you're talking about.
He plays in the Bruce Almighty.
Yes. I think I remember seeing a clip about that.
So I think it's called Are You That One Guy in That One Thing? Which is an interesting title.
Like, I'm that one guy in many things.
But they were just talking about like, one guy, I think he made like, in a year, he made like over like millions of dollars in a year just by doing a bunch of, I think he said he did like close to like 100 or 150 something background
That's crazy.
jobs.
I got to check that out.
Yeah, I don't know what it's streaming on, but either way, I remember I saw that. I was like,
I'm going to look it up.
Because that's what people say when they don't really know you, to say, hey,
aren't you that one guy?
Yeah.
But that's ultimately my goal. So if I make it larger than that, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think, I still got to pay the bills. We got to pay somehow. And some people, will work their nursing job, work their lawyer job, work their McDonald's job, and then do their acting or do their filmmaking or music making after. That's amazing because you really want to do that. You find time. You're finding the time to do that. Because some people work a job and they come home and pop up in the beer like, I'm done. I'm done. They have nothing else. Their only goal is to watch whatever is on the TV, go to sleep, wake up, do it again.
Yeah.
And if that's your goal, that's cool. That's your goal. For me, my goal is to come home from work. I'm not gonna pop a beer though. I'm gonna pop like a tea.
A tea.
I'm gonna make a tea. And then I'm gonna relax for a minute, spend time with my family, and then I'm gonna say, all right, let me look at this script now.
Okay.
Let me take a look at this script.
Yeah.
Let me learn some lines,
So how does it work now leading into that? When do you decide what you get paid? Yeah. When do you start saying no? When do you feel like you're ready enough to start saying, okay, I charged X, Y, and Z? Because that could be the very like sensitive subject when a lot of people are new.
Yeah.
So like for you, when did you start saying like, okay, I think I'm confident enough to know like this is what I need to get paid,
I think it varied by who was asking the question. Because if it was my friend, if it was people I've been working with, we started together. It's been years where we've been working, and they're like, "Oh, I want you to be in this." I might be like, "All right, cool. My rate is gonna be $150 a day." Like I wouldn't do that to them.
Okay.
Because like I think with Chicago, which is super dope, is small but it's big.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people I've worked with, like I would do again, only because I've watched them grow and I know what they're gonna do next is gonna be bigger. Yeah. So a lot of the times I'm looking at it more as like they're investing in me and I'm investing in them. Like it's a symbiotic relationship, whether it deals with money or not.
Right.
So with those folks, I usually don't come up with money unless they bring up the subject. Like, oh, hey, I have this and this. Is this cool? Yes, you said meal and credit. You had me at meal and credit, but I'll come for you.
Yeah.
If it's someone new, brand new, never worked with this person, I think it really depends on what the role is, like what they're expecting from me. If it's a one-day shoot and I have 3-4 lines and they're like, oh, I'm probably going to be on set for like 3-4 hours. I'm like, okay, cool, probably 100, 120. I'm not, most of it is, let's see what you can do. You can see what I do. I'm on a new set. Let's learn something. Let's grow together, establish a new relationship. But really, it took some time. And I think because I had to establish relationships with people for me to feel comfortable enough to even offer it. And that's really more to people I don't know yet. Because I don't know where you're coming from. How are we shooting this film? On your phone? Are you using a camera?
Right.
Is your cousin's uncle, daddy, baby daddy going to be the co-star, the lead, and he never acted before? Like, what's happening here? So I need to learn more. I need to know more about what you're entailing about this project, and then we can talk about
I think I saw a project. So I had a film that was in a film festival called Facing Your Demons. Mm-hmm. But I think you were in a film that was shot or produced by Anton Mitchell.
Yeah.
And I think it was like interesting because you were like beating up a guy.
Yeah, the everlasting
It was interesting because I've always
Life
seen
of Mary
you,
Jo.
There you go. That was an interesting title too.
Yeah.
Because I've always seen you do like kind of funny kind of.
That was such a fun role.
Yeah. So
and it was a trailer concept. It was a concept trailer.
Yeah.
So it was super short, but it was a concept trailer that he hopes to pitch to, other directors to kind of make, an actual feature from this. So it's it's snippets of what could be. And it was so awesome to like bring this character to life in such a short time. It's like she goes from A to Z, and you're like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, she was like really like, I mean, the guy was like a whole ass.
He was so good though. He did so good. I was getting to a point where like, oh, I really don't like you. But he was so good. He was amazing.
Nice. So like your craft and your skill set, so you pretty much, what is goals for you? Like what, like, I mean, because what it sounded like you said, you have to invest in yourself.
You have to.
So what is your goal and what are you trying to get to? Are you trying to get behind the camera soon? Or is it mostly like, well, right now I'm just focusing on just working with it, just building a team. So what is goals?
Yeah. Well, an amazing goal would be to be a series regular. I think that would be the ultimate goal, to be a series regular character on like Chicago PD, Chicago Med, like series regular.
Right.
All the time.
Yeah. Marquee name.
Marquee. Yeah. That would be the biggest, coolest goal. Until I get to that goal, I got little speed bumps around. I would love to get one of my scripts actually put out into the world.
Yeah.
And so right now, currently, I'm just trying to get together people who are open and willing to help someone who's never
getting into the producing side of it.
This is a whole another side of Telly. Because Telly's an actor. And so to be like, oh, she's going to produce something. She's going to produce something.
That's going to be good. That's going to be pretty cool.
It is. Yeah. I have a couple, I've been working with a couple friends. Shout out to Barry. He does Verse Films. I don't know if you guys have heard of Verse, but he shoots really cool music videos. He does a lot of like PSA projects. So we've teamed up and we're thinking about getting one of them off the ground and running, but it's still a work in progress. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping by this year, at least get one of them out into the world.
What's a role that you're like, I'm not really for that. I'm really good on that. Or is it like, oh no, this is art. So I'm trying to take it all. Yeah. But like, what is it, certain stipulations, or how do you navigate that?
I am open to all roles, because all characters deserve to like be brought to life, right? And that's the whole point of doing what we do, is to bring characters to life. That's not me. Right. That's the whole point of it. That's not me. So let me play as that person, as that character.
But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What if you do it so well to where you get typecast? Because I know some people don't like that. Some people can break that. Like, what's my guy's name from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that played Carlton? Alfonso
Rivera.
Yeah. So he killed that role so well to where like I could never imagine him being a gangster role.
He couldn't be, no.
But but how do you navigate that?
I think, I don't know, me personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with typecast.
Okay.
I think if you fit a style so well that people are like, I can't see you doing anything else, then that's your style. Yeah. And I've been told, even by photographers who done headshots, like you're funny, yes, but I see, like, when you play detective, I see it. Like, when you play cop, like, you scare me. Like, people say those things. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, those are the roles where people are like, when you play those roles, I feel it. Like, I really feel it. And so if I'm typecast as a detective, as a cop, then I lean into it. Like, lean into it. Grow from it. Make it bigger. Make it better. So I personally don't think anything is wrong with that. Because again, if you're tired of being typecast, write your own shit, get it out there, and be like, okay, I've been a detective for way too long. I won't be a drug dealer now. So why? So I'm gonna write my own role as a drug dealer. Yeah.
You know who does like really well at typecast stuff, and it's like they are making a killing at Jason Statham. Like every role he plays like some type of worker that's like, this is what I do, but I'm about to like beat you up. Like he was the beekeeper. He had so many jobs. He was a beekeeper.
But see, he's good at it. But wouldn't it be awesome if he was in a movie where you come in expecting that and he's as a complete opposite?
That would be crazy though.
That's what's the, what I mean? Like he's typecast as that, but what if someone offers him something different and he leans completely the other way and everyone's like, what?
That would be cool.
I didn't know he could play. He could do that. Yeah, but that's what we do.
You know who did that? And I was actually shocked. Cat Williams. I don't know if you ever saw the TV show Atlanta with Childish Gambino, aka Danny Glover. But Cat Williams had a role in there that I was like, I think he played like he played his uncle. He played the main character's uncle. But the way how he played him was like, I relate to that because I got an uncle that's just like that, where he don't care about the police trying to show up to his crib. And I thought it was so dope because the way how he was having these conversations. I didn't see that. I've never seen that side of Cat Williams because, we know him as the funny, goofy kind of. But at the same time, he drops the little gems in there.
He definitely does.
Yeah, so either way.
Uncle Cat.
Man. So I was actually impressed. So you're right. So to see somebody that's like, I think that would be a unique aspect in itself to have an actor that's always typecast. Like, let's take The Rock, for example. The Rock is The Rock and everything.
The Rock, you can't.
And imagine like him playing like
real docile and feminine. Like
that would be very intriguing.
Just, like motherly father type of who doesn't beat anybody up.
Yeah.
He actually doesn't know how to fight.
Yeah.
In this movie, The Rock's like, what's fighting?
Man, that would be interesting.
That would be great. I would see it.
Yeah.
It's like Youngblaze coming to a mixed fit. To mixed fit.
See,
no one will be expecting that. And it'll be such a change of character. They'll be like, look at him go.
I know, right? But you know what's so crazy? I'd probably kill it. So you
what? Probably would. I wouldn't put anything past you.
Yeah.
You really are amazing. Like, anything you do,
yeah,
like, you are exceptional when it comes to music, films, commercials. Because we did that one commercial. I don't remember that one commercial.
Shout out to Skinnisons.
Yes,
that was the name of it. It was about a skin product.
We got a lot of lotion up in there. A lot of lotion.
Shout out to Jay Nicholson. That was she was on that too. But yeah, no, definitely, man. I appreciate that because it's like I always been just a fan of just creativity, and and I've been blessed to be in a situation to where I've been a student of my own talent, and I think that's what a lot of people don't get a chance to do because like a lot of people, like you said, sometimes they have an idea and a vision, they want to do something, but it's like life is life, and so they can't really say, okay, I want to get into doing this script, but I can't do that right now because work, kids, family functions, whatever the case may be. So I mean, I have all that stuff too. I don't got kids, but I have that stuff too. But it's like I've been blessed with the ability to be able to say, okay, how do I, I want to learn something new. I want to figure it out and then be great at it. Just like doing podcasts, like I never ever thought I would do podcasts, but
never ever.
I mean, but I've been telling people that technically having these type of conversations have happened with me for years, but I just never had cameras going. People would come over and we just sit and chop it up, and next thing you know, it's like, yo, where did the time go? So
time flies by.
And that's when I feel like, I think that now, since I have this platform, I can basically put people in a position to show, like, yo, just in case, like, people didn't know Chantelly, like, I didn't know this side of you. Like, I didn't know she was a nurse. That's why she's so caring. And that's why she's like, that's why, like, I think people need to see each other in a different light. I mean, because we kind of live better off of our Facebooks and social medias because, I can only tell so much by just looking at what you're posting on social media. Then I can get it misconstrued because I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't know. Oh, she sounded like she hating. But it's like, no, she was cracking a joke there.
Yeah.
So it's cool to have this platform for people to see exactly like this living, breathing person. And like, man, there's so many layers to them.
Yeah.
So what do you have new that you've been working on?
What do I have new? Okay, so let's see. There is this independent film that's coming out of Wisconsin called Banjo. That's going to be really cool. Banjo with Cam Calloway. Shout out to Cam Calloway. Follow him. But the script is out of this world. I'm so excited to shoot that. I think we're aiming for this spring. So that's one thing. Also with Jay Davis and Omar Moore with Creative Hustle, they have a horrific anthology. And so I'll be starting in the next one, which we should be filming this year. So I'm really excited about that because there's another horror film. I don't know if you know, I'm a really good screamer. Have you heard me do my screams?
I have not.
I'm not going to do it now, though, because I heard these mics are a little expensive. But yeah, I have that. And then, I'm thinking of, I'm still working on figuring out like the next round of training for this year. I completed classes at Vagabond, so just maybe throwing in an improv class from Second City again, just to keep myself on my toes.
And what's Vagabond?
Vagabond,
I've heard so much
Vagabond
about that.
It's a school on the north side of Chicago, Ravenswood. So they do teach you how to be in front of the film. They teach you how to do audition techniques. They teach you, basics of acting, the business of acting. So they're really geared towards actors.
Yeah.
But they also have, I believe, like script writing classes once in a while as well. So check out Vagabond, take some classes. Michael McCracken is the owner of Vagabond, and he runs the show, and he's amazing, and I've learned so much from him.
Nice.
So I've done Vagabond classes. Second City, I've done some improv classes, so I'm thinking of maybe doing another round of that again. Yeah. And gotta keep myself.
Man, that's so dope because like the thing I'm noticing, because like I'm coming in new a little bit. I mean, I have my skill set that I know very well, but then when I'm sitting down with other actors, I'm learning. Because like that's not the first time I heard Vagabond. Second City. I was like, well, what was the first city? What's the third city? What's the fourth city? No, but it's like pretty cool because I'm learning like Nancy, Vella.
Yep.
And then I heard Jen Stanko. So it's like I'm learning so much to where it's like I'm like, so when people are watching this, hopefully they're learning too, because I'm like, yo, this is dope. Yeah, definitely, man.
It's a good platform. You watch the podcast and take notes.
That's what it is. Know? That's what I want people to do.
And then we grow from it. So that the next time I'm on the show, I'm going to be, I've grown. Yeah. And then you've grown. And we've grown. And we come together and be like, how have you grown in the last year? Yeah. And we hope that the viewers and everyone else grows, and we all...
It's so beautiful, man. And then, of course, now people can, like I said, because I want people to be able to say, hey, I booked Chantelly for this. But then they can Google and see videos of just how you're communicating and how you're just kind of being yourself. And I think that's super important because as people who are creative, believe it or not, they don't get the chance to really express themselves.
No, this is true.
The closest to it might be social media, which is not wrong, but then a lot of times you're like, man, I didn't know that person had that many layers to them. Because like I said, when I first met you, I didn't know what to think. I just knew like, okay, she's an actress, okay, cool. But then when we friended each other and I started seeing like funny skits, I was like, she kind of cool and kind of goofy. I like that. That's what's up. So now it puts me in this mindset to be able to say like, if I was to write this role, that's kind of funny, something like, because I could definitely see you do something with like Regina Hall.
That would be so dope.
I could definitely see you doing like some type of skit type of stuff with her, because she's super dope.
Yeah.
And that actually leads into my next question. Like, is it any female actresses that you look up to and be like, yo, she's like, man, I loved her in this. What gave you some inspiration to be able to say like, yo, she was dope?
Yeah, I think one that I really enjoy watching, and I've always been a fan of mine. I've always been a fan of hers, is Lucille Ball. Okay. Like Lucy has been, because they call her the queen of the B's, right? She was the queen of B movies, is what they said. But she said that it was a time in Hollywood where she wasn't beautiful enough to be in the A movies, but she was beautiful enough for a B movie, but not an A movie. But her comedy is what took her over, and so she was authentic to herself and to her comedy. And so I really looked up to Lucy. She was a businesswoman. Like she ran Desilu Studios. That was her. They say Ricky, she ran it. She was the main person of the studio. Nice. So she was a businesswoman. She was an actress. And she stood firm for what she believed in. And I love Lucille Ball. I wish there was some weird chance in the world where I could have met her and just had like a moment, a cup of coffee with her and speak with her. But her, and also Meryl Streep. I think Meryl Streep's super dope because she's so strong, and just her silence is strong. Yeah. And that's something that I've been working on, is to make my silence strong. Yeah. When I'm in a room, when I'm on a set, and I'm playing a character that is strong, Meryl Streep has those eyes and that silence that be like, let me shut up and let me listen to you. So those are my top two females that I definitely look up to.
Because a lot of people, it's interesting because when I ask that question, people instantly go for like the Denzels and stuff like that. Nothing wrong with that, but the fact of the matter that now we're able to get some women into the mix, I think that's super dope.
Yeah.
Man, I could sit here and talk with you for hours, man, because it's like it's so many gems that we're kind of collecting and putting out there to the universe, to the world, and things like that. How can people find you? Like, how can they get in contact with you? Like your social medias?
Yeah, I'm Chantelly Johnson across all social media. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. That's where I'm at.
So all across the board, Chantelly. How do you spell
Johnson.
it?
Chantelly Johnson.
That is a very unique name, though.
It
Chantelly,
is.
though. Because most of these times you meet like, oh, that's a Chantel.
I know. I always ask my mom, like, Mom, how did you name me? Because remember, my mom's white, my dad's Puerto Rican. I'm like, where did you guys get my name from? And to this day, no one has really told me where I got it.
Got to do a movie about it.
I don't know. But I always hear the song, that Chubby Checker song, Chantilly lace and a pretty face and a ponytail hanging down. And people sing that song, I'm like, hey, I've never heard it before until today. And I tell that all the time. Whenever people sing it, I'm like, yep, this is the first time I'm hearing that song.
Man, well, that's what's up, man. Like, and the time is fine because it's almost been an hour, which is crazy.
Has it been?
It's almost been an hour. But, you know, like I said, I really appreciate you coming on this platform because, you know, I tell people, you know, we don't have to look up to the people that's already there. I mean, to a certain extent, we can take notes. Yeah. But it's like people in your own backyard that you're like, yo, I did not know this person does that. Yes. Or, man, she would be good for this. You know, because somebody could see your character and just be like, yo, I definitely want to put her in this because, I love her interaction and things like that. And this has just been a natural conversation because you genuinely care about your craft, you know. And I could tell you put a lot of effort into just making sure you can just hone in and get it cracking, man. And I can't wait to see what you like develop into the future.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. I hope to work with you again in the future because I know you have a lot of things coming up, and we're excited to hear it and see it. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Congratulations to you too.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I appreciate you checking out this edition of Acting Chicallywood. So you already know it's youngblaze across the board. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And put some comments in those comments, and you know, let's get the discussion cracking. So, with that being said, I'm youngblaze, and
I'm Chantelly Johnson.
That's what it is. Peace.